Welcome to Chibuzor Mathphysics. In today's video, we are going to deal with coordinate of vector space. Coordinate of vector space. This is one of those topics that we deal with in linear algebra. We usually say that we can let maybe V to be a vector space of dimension n over a field. And if you let that happen, it means that for every V, there is a unique linear combination, a unique linear combination of the basis vector that equals to that V. So to determine the coordinate of a vector in the plane, the first step is to translate the vector so that its tail is at the origin of the coordinate system. If we draw this graphically, you will be able to picture and find out what we are trying to say, even though it sounds more abstract. But then that is just in a way we are just trying to see a way in which we can explain the vector in the plane, either in 1-2 dimensions or even in 3 dimensions. So for the purpose of this video, I will be taking you through on how to find those the coordinate vectors in this space, and we will start with 2x2 matrices. I remain your friend Augustine Galagash, and if you are joining us, kindly subscribe to this channel so that you'll be notified as we upload our subsequent videos. So let's take questions. We've got several questions, and we are given to find the coordinate vectors of x with base b and x with base c. So let us write that down and see how to proceed from there. So we have let's take a pen. So the question is find the coordinate. We are to find the coordinate. And these coordinate vectors are of x. We have x to the base b, and we have x to the base c. So we are to find the coordinate for these vectors. Let's say that x with respect to the base b, and of course base c, we have c. So let's have them down. So x is given to be these vectors matrices. So x to base b, we have been given x to be 2 and 3, and b as 1 0 0 1. We have x base c, which is 0 2 and 6 negative 2. So we are to find the coordinate for these two vectors given in this form of matrices, and this is a kind of 2x2. What we are trying to say here is that to describe what a vector means in 2 dimensions, because this is 2 dimensions, we need 2 bases, and this is 2 basis vectors that tell us how to interpret the 2 numbers. So if you want to define a coordinate system, something that tells us how to interpret a point in 2 dimensions, then we need 2 basis vectors and an origin in order to interpret and describe what the vector truly mean. So the very first thing we have to do here is we can let some C1, C2 such that C1, because here is X, there are so many ways we can get solutions to this problem, but let's use this. Let's say that let's say that we are to find C1 and then C2. We are to find C1 and then C2 such that C1 then C2 such that C1 you can take C1 and multiply with this B, and then C2 we also do the same. So C1 will be into what we have here is 0 1, so this is 1 0 here, 1 0, and this will be plus this C2, which is 0 1 0 1, and this is going to be equal to this X, which we are using to find the base of these coordinates, and the X is given by 2 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Good. So from here now we are simply required to compute. You can even use your calculator to find the values for C1 and C2, but you can write this as systems of equations, so that multiply this will simply be C1 plus 0, which is simply 0. So C1 here will simply be equals to 2, and here we have 0 C1 plus so here we are going to have C2 is simply equal to 3. So this means that our solutions in finding the coordinate for these vectors will simply be C1 C2. When we put C1 C2, this will be equal to 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Of course, this simply means that our xb, because we have x to the base b, is simply 2 and 3. And you can as well use your calculator in order to find this coordinate. To use your calculator, you can on your calculator put it on, so go to equation mode, and this is number 5, and take this tool system of this is simultaneous equation. Let's take number 1. So here we have got C1, so C1 is simply 1, and this is equals to 0 because we have 0 in C2, that is 0, and that is equal to 2. This is equal to 2. And for the second equation we've got 0, so it is 0, and this is equal to 1, and that will be equal to 3. So the values for this now will simply be 2 for x, and for x for y it is 3. So that's exactly how you can use your calculator to evaluate these coordinates and find the solutions if you can't compute manually. So let's also find the coordinate of this other x to the base c, which is the second one that we have here. So for x to the base c, which is what we have here, we simply have c1 into 0 2 plus c2 into c negative 2. This is 0. This means that we have c2. Of course, this should be equal to x, and we know what it is. It is 2 and 3. 2 3. So 2 3. So c2 in this case we have c2. This is 6. C2 will be equal to 2, and then we have 2c1 2c1 minus 2c2 is equal to 3. So we can use our calculator to find out what would be the value for c1 and c2 in this case. So simply open your calculator again, and you are able to go, or you can as well compute manually. So go to this mode, equation number 5, take the first one, and then you observe that in here we have c1 is 0, so simply put 0. This is equal to 6c2, and that is positive, so it is 6, and it is equal to 2. This is equal to 2, and here we have got 2c1. 2 is equal to negative 2, and that is equal to 3. That is equal to 3. So our value here will be 11 over 6. So we've got 11 over 6, and let's have that down. We have got this to be this will be some 11 over 6. Let me just clear up that. So we have 11 over 6, and then for the value for x, you will simply have 1 over 3. 1 over 3. This is 1 over 3, and this will be a value for c1 and c2, such that x to the base of c will be equal to 11 over 6 and a third, 1 over 3. And this is how you find the coordinate. This is how you find the coordinate for the vectors in respect to these bases. I hope you have enjoyed this video. In the next video, we'll be talking more of vector space, finding the coordinate in respect to three-dimensional vectors in the space. And if you are joining us, click on the subscribe button so that you'll be notified as we upload our subsequent videos. I remain your friend, Galagash.